we can't really give you a positive rating on the demo, but I guess they just slightly updated the warning thing at the beginning. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Star Trek Resurgence. I guess it came out a little while ago on Epic Games, but this is the first time it's come out on Steam. And yeah, it's a Star Trek adventure game by people who worked at Telltale. They did Wolf Among Us and the Borderlands adventure game, which I actually liked quite a bit. Walking Dead, of course, and others. So that kind of a game, if you know their kind of style. But I decided to check out the demo. I heard it was pretty good if you like the story-based games and if you're a fan of Star Trek. So I dabble in Star Trek. I like watching it every once in a while, but I wouldn't consider myself a super hardcore fan or anything. I'm not a Trekkie by any means. So let's check it out. I will remember that. To boldly go where no man has gone before. They've certainly made clear that they're Dramatic Labs that made this. Did you guys know that this was made by Dramatic Labs?
57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy. Nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
The camera's shaking. Is she a Bajorian?
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's a reason I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Music's good. They even have an episode title. Or maybe that's the chapter title. I guess it's interchangeable. Oh, they let me walk around.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
That's pretty cool.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Simulations are great for training, but they're not quite the same as the real thing.
That's fair. I guess I'm about to find out.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds. Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
I want to kick him while he's down.
See you on the Resolute.
It said what kind of alien she was. She's like half human.
Good day, Commander.
They should have just made her full alien. They don't have to pay for makeup on this game. Just go wild. Swing for the fences, what I say.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Blue skin.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks. I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Blue skin guy. It's Yondu.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
I'll do my best to live up to expectations.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do just fine. And if I can help in any way, just let me know. USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half venting plasma fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle.
Technobabble.
Cost us our first
Technobabble
officer
out
and
of it.
22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
Did you lose anyone close to you?
Too many. And to that, I'll just say, you have big shoes to fill. Listen, I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm glad you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Just trying to see if I'm awake still. Must be the second main character.
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Plasma torch. That's it. That's cool. You gotta do it. You gotta work now? Sheesh. Wait a minute, what's going on? Okay. Thought I had to follow the circle, but I just gotta put it in the middle.
Is that.
You can make me close it too.
I thought that thing was totally fried.
Like the TV show.
Nice work, Carter.
Star Trek.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Key.
Come on!
Oh. Oh, these are heavier than they look. Makes more sense than zero G. You're welcome.
Carter Diaz!
So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
Yeah, we get it. He has an ego.
Good to see her fully operational again. And if she breaks, we'll just fix her.
Junction 34B gives you
Engineering.
I heard the new EXO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
Ah, what's the matter, Nilly? Afraid of a little hard work?
A little hard work? Really? A little? 6 months of putting this ship back together is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and here we are. Just about ready to go.
Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edzelar on repeated occasions.
So you're saying we're irreplaceable, Commander?
That is one interpretation. Another would be that I would replace you if I could. You can interpret as you see fit.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
I know enough about Star Trek to know that guy's
Equip
a
yourselves in
Wookiee.
EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Commander, if this energy storm is causing problems here at Space Dock, what does that say about what we're gonna find when we head out there for real? Shouldn't we let this storm pass?
Long-range sensors show that conditions will indeed be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. Thusly, we are taking all necessary precautions. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule.
You won't get an argument from me, Nilly. Sure seems like everyone's still scrambling.
And I get it. When has a relaunch ever gone off without a hitch? But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They may not be the same crew we started out with, but they're still Starfleet. They'll know what to do when the time comes.
I prefer the scientific method. Evidence over assumptions. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Wouldn't take long to reverse that transfer and get you right back on the Adirondack.
I didn't know you had that kind of authority.
Oh, Carter's going places. You'd be surprised what he can do.
Still, I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
I like the little picture showing red or green. It's a handy way to show what your relationship status is, what your comments
Here,
are doing
let me
with
help
the
you.
status,
Thanks.
rather than
So
Blake
what's the
will
word?
remember this.
Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
Still a little bit floppy with the animation, but not nearly as bad as the old Telltale games. If you can forgive the old
See you on
ones,
the other side.
then this one's pretty good.
Activating magnetic souls.
I wish the whole game was just this, just doing like maintenance work on one of the ships. No combat, just doing maintenance on the ship. Maybe I'm getting my wish here. At least at the beginning here. I go outside in the middle of an ion storm.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
There are more like
Captain
chapters.
Solano should be here momentarily.
Can't say that was a whole story. Oh, great. Well. Alright, so obviously the game crashed, so yeah, that happened. So we will end it here. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but I think I've shown enough of the game that you should know if you're down or not. It's definitely like a Telltale game, so, but if you like Star Trek, I think you probably enjoy it quite a bit. So yeah, grab it on Steam or Epic Games, and we'll have another demo tomorrow and go back to the normal schedule next week. So we'll see you then.